in East Africa. Our reporter David Mbithi with more details.
Pariahs to queens of the runway. It is the inspirational story of how unity and self-pride can change perceptions. For many of these young contestants, the pageant is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to end prejudices against persons living with albinism.
Persons with albinism continue to be discriminated on a daily basis, because of their skin color, because of being different.
Kama watu 170 hivyo wamepoteza maisha yao Tanzania kwa sababu wana ualbino, na ni jambo ambalo linasababishwa na watu kutokufahamu ualbino nini.
Stigma, discrimination and sheer brutality that is anchored on primitive beliefs points to an ailing society.
Through a strong partnership with the Kenya Film and Classification Board, 5-fold scholarships to the Kenya Film School will be up for grabs annually for entries interested in pursuing a career in film.
I'm really excited because I know in one way or another I'll be seen like a role model to a young girl out there living with the albinism.
Whereas many might still remain ignorant on the subject of albinism in the region, this young crop of contestants are at the forefront of a campaign to counter the status quo. David Mbithi, KTN News.
Well, in studio with us now is two of the contestants, Okwi Simon Peter representing Uganda. We also have Naomi Wafula representing Kenya. Also in studio with us is Nicholas Waititu, who is an organizer from the Kenya Albinism Society. Many thanks for joining us on Morning Express, guys. Nicholas, let me begin with you. The Kenya Albinism Society decided to organize this pageant to celebrate 12 years of its existence. What is the theme of the pageant?
Thank you very much. And first of all, we are grateful for having us here. We are also grateful for the Standard Group for partnering with us. They are our main media partner. We are so happy for that. Thank you very much. The theme for this year, first ever Mr. and Miss Albinism East Africa, is in Swahili. It's Nikubali, Nijumuishe, Naweza. Yeah, accept me, include me. Yes, I can. Right. Yeah, and we also have other hashtag, which is beauty beyond the skin. And the reason why we have organized all this is simply to create awareness about persons living with albinism. Yeah.
Naomi, again, the theme, Nikubali, Nijumuishe, Ninaweza. To do away with the stigma associated with this condition, the challenges that those who live with albinism face. Talk to us about your experience and why you're here today.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to appreciate for giving us this airtime, to tell the world what albinism is all about. Here, with the theme, Nikubali Nijumuishe Naweza, it speaks loud to me because it's our main key of passing the message to the world. Nikubali, accept me. Nijumuishe, include me. Then Naweza, I can. So in short, I can summarize it as a platform. Just give me the platform, then you'll be able to see what I can be able to do and give the world. Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the challenges, Simon, perhaps with you, that those living with albinism face. That is basically just stigma that needs awareness to be done away with.
Yes. Yeah, we have a number of challenges, like stigma, because of the perceptions that the community has about us, the falsehoods that they have about us, who are highly discriminated against. And so we find most of our fundamental human rights not being respected, like, yes, the right to associate and move freely with others, the right to go to school, and even the right to access medical health. So it's really a big challenge that we go through.
Naomi, perhaps to come to you, you've seen the report there by David Mbithi, and the runway looks nothing short of the international runways we see. Talk to us about this opportunity and what it's done for you as an individual.
Thank you so much. To me, it has been a pace-setter and a very wonderful opportunity that I've used it, because this is my second time to participate in such. I participated in 2016 Mr. and Miss Albinism, Kenya, being the first one. Hence, it has enabled me to be able to reach out to other persons with albinism from different regions and encourage them and let them know that they can. And a good example is Golden in Kikuyu. He's a very good friend of mine. We are so happy, all of us as a country, with the good result that we saw. Even this year, we have a very positive turnout of the results from persons with albinism. Yeah, so it's something that, to me, I feel it's a very good thing, even to the whole world, to tell them that give us this platform, hence we will be able to deliver. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like she mentioned, in 2016 there was the Mr. and Miss Albinism Kenya. This time, however, we have contestants from Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. How did you manage that, and what was the main reason for that?
Thank you very much for that question. In 2016, we had the first ever Mr. and Miss Albinism in Kenya, which was very successful, by the way. And after that, we decided it's a high time we go East Africa, because we have a person with albinism in Uganda who are facing a lot of challenges, in Tanzania specific, who are facing a lot of challenges, and also in Tanzania. And we thought it was good to include them together. And that's why we came up with first ever Mr. and Miss Albinism East Africa. We had auditions in Tanzania, which were happening on 10th of November. We also had audition in Uganda the same day, the 10th of November, and Kenyan audition. They underwent a very vigorous audition.
Right.
Yeah,
right. And someone, like any other award, the awards here will be given in different categories. What category are you expecting to do the best, perhaps to emerge winner in?
I think creative wear, yes, because apart from being a lawyer and everything, I fancy a lot trying to create something that is unique and that which sells my ideas and opinion and even emotions and everything. So I think the creative category would give me more marks.
Right. You mentioned you're a lawyer?
Yes, I am a lawyer.
Let's talk more about that, because the main aim of this event is to, again, drum up or just create awareness of some of the challenges that those living with albinism face. I remember a story once of a friend of mine telling me they got punished a lot in school because of not doing their classwork on time, but the teachers did not realize that those with albinism have problems with their eyes. So, you know, they need a bit more time to do things like this. Talk to us about some of these issues, especially in your education journey.
Yes, in the education journey, it's always not an easy thing for a person living with albinism. Personally, I failed to go to school for 3 years in my primary school. Why? Because when I used to go to school, my own peers would always try to run away from me. They wouldn't want to associate with me. And even if I tried to engage the school administration, the teachers and the head teachers, they were not of help and everything. So I went back home for 3 years. It is when, again, my mother took a task to go on trying to look for a school where I could fit in. And so when I got back to school, I really tried. It was now a special needs school where I would now be able to learn with others at the same pace. And having gone to school and everything, I think I was, again, the best in my primary school, in the primary living examination. I was the best, I think, in the country. And even in my secondary, I was again the best in Form 6 joining university. So, but then it came not on a silver plate. It was really very hard because, one, we have visual problem and everything, and then most of the teachers are not trained to understand our basic needs and everything. So when you try even to ask a teacher, help me spell the word and everything, he tries to rubbish you out and he writes on the chalkboard and you are unable to see because of the low vision and everything. You're trying, like when the other students are being taken for PE, a physical exercise in the field and everything, because your skin is not compatible to the sun rays and everything. You try to request maybe for reasonable accommodation. They can't. They really beat you and force you to go. So we really go through many challenges while we go at school.
All right. I mean, Nicholas, let's talk about what the Kenya Albinism Society has been able to do for those living in albinism, especially with the challenges that Simon is talking about.
Yeah. You notice that in Kenya we have a lot of, we have many persons with albinism who are marginalized, who are outside there, and they cannot be able to access, say, the Miwani. Therefore, we have a program called Miwani Mashinani, and that's where we identify them, and those who cannot be able to afford them, and we give them for free. We also ensure that they get treatment or the eye checkup on regular basis. We also have an initiative called Nyangalezi Initiative. This is a young man. He is not a person with albinism, But we see some of us have albinism at heart because we have interacted with them, we know the challenges that they get, and we want to feel them or to be like them. Therefore, that initiative, called Nyagares Initiative, is a platform whereby we educate or we sponsor persons with albinism who have excelled in academic but they don't have school fees. For example, the case of Golden Kakuya, we as the society, Albino Society of Kenya, we were able to support her. Even if we were not able to cater for her education up to Form 4 level, we were able to do something. Because we realize that, just as what Simon Peter is saying, we realize these persons with albinism are able differently. They have a lot of talent. For example, the case of Golden Kakuya, she was the best in KCPE last year, in 2017. We also have the first person with albinism to top in KCPE in 2009, if you can remember. Therefore, we should be able to continue helping them. And we have a lot of programs that we learn to ensure that at least they live like a normal life like us.
Right.
That's why we have gone even to Uganda and Tanzania.
And for society has a long way to go in terms of creating awareness. Naomi, just being in this contest and meeting fellow contestants from Kenya and Tanzania, and of course comparing how life is for persons living with albinism within the different countries in East Africa, what are you learning in comparison?
Thank you so much. Indeed, it has been a great experience. Even me, I was eager to meet persons with albinism from Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya. We've been meeting on several occasions. And what I've noticed, because of the environment that is set for each one of us, it creates a different kind of personality or rather view of life. Some of us, among us, as you can see, maybe from a different country, they are hesitant to do something because they are not sure, they are not confident about it. Or maybe you can see that somebody has a fear somewhere. Like, if I do it, there's no that move or that push. Yeah, and another thing that I notice is they just want a surety that if you give me the platform and allow me manage the platform that you've given me, I'll deliver it very well to you. So that's what I've learned as an individual in summary. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So again, goes back to the theme. What is it? Nijumuishe? What is it? Nikubali nijumuishe naweza. All right, Samuel, let's talk about the pageant itself. When is it taking place again?
It is today, starting at 6 p.m. at KICC.
Right, all right.
Absolutely free entrance.
Free entrance. Talk to us about those who will be in attendance, what is up for grabs for those who are winning the different categories.
Yes, the event is today, at KICC Gloves, starting 6 p.m. And it's free of charge, absolutely free entrance. We expect a very lively and fun evening, this evening, because we'll be having performances from musicians such as Calligraph Jones from Kenya. We have Kidum from Burundi. We also have Keisha from Tanzania. She have even done a song with Diamond. We also have Peter Ogik from Uganda, among many other talents, even for persons with albinism. We also expect the models themselves to show the world what they have, the talent and the like. And of course, we have guests, government officials. We also have politicians, the corporate world, they are coming. And I hope even you are coming yourself.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, I hope I'll get to make time for that. But someone, even before we wind up, coming from Uganda and representing Uganda in this context, what are you learning from those living with albinism in Kenya, their way of living vis-a-vis in Uganda?
Yes, one, I must admit that the Albinism Association, Society of Kenya, has done a lot and commendable work in Kenya in going a long way in creating awareness and doing the advocacy here. And as such, I'm able to compare and see that Kenya is a little ahead of Uganda because I can say I can move freely in the streets. There are no insults. There are no bad names called towards me and everything. This may not be the same in Uganda because where the awareness is still behind and we're still lagging a little bit. And so when I compare Uganda to Kenya, Kenya is ahead.
Right, and finally, what would you want to see implemented within the East African framework to make life easier for persons living with albinism?
One, what I would love to see is like the domestication of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with a Disability. Because then if we domesticate, because Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania have all ratified the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Albinism. And so if they could domesticate and incorporate in the local laws aspects dealing with persons with albinism, then we shall have an achievement, because then it's where we can base on to claim and demand for our rights and even agitate for them. So it would go a long way in reducing discrimination against persons with albinism.
All right. And Naomi, what about you, especially in Kenya? Like the Kenya Albinism Society, as Simon Peter says, has done quite a lot in making life easier for those living with albinism. What more would you like to see championed?
Oh, thank you so much. Big ups to Albinism Society of Kenya, because courtesy of them, I'm included in Twaweza family. That is the big name Safaricom. I'm working as a customer experience executive. You'll find me in Eldoret. And courtesy of this organization that referred me to Safaricom, I'm able to get the work. So it's through the Naweza Kazi program that they have that helps persons with albinism to be connected to different organizations and get jobs. Yeah, apart from that, it has been a good platform to help us meet as persons with albinism. You know, when I meet with another person with albinism, I'm like, okay, so I'm not the only one who faces this. So there's another person who faces the same. So like, okay, how do you handle it? Gives me the solution, I see how to do. As in, it brings you together. You're able to grow together as a family and bring out the solution. Yeah.
All right, that's great. And I mean, Nicholas, the Albinism Society is getting quite a lot of commendation from what it's been doing so far. What more support would this association require?
We plan to have a center, a center for persons with albinism, whereby we can have a facilitation for catering for their need. Maybe we can have even counseling, counseling session in that center. We can have even a school, because you see, when we would like them to go to the normal school, but you see, at times is a challenge. But when we bring them together to a certain, to one inclusive center, we can be able to cater for all their needs together. Therefore, that's something that we look forward toward achieving as we move forward.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So that will be tonight, and I'm hoping both of you will be coming back as the winners of the Mr. and Miss Albinism East Africa event. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Okwi, Simon Peter.